Has your Berkey gotten slow filtering water? Or are you interested in knowing how to clean a Berkey? Well, stay tuned. Welcome back to our channel. And if this is the first time we're meeting, my name is Don Reimel, and along with my wife Neva, we live intentionally as nomads. And on this channel you'll find our weekly show, videos of our adventures, and informational videos just like this one. So just to get it out of the way, this is not a sponsored video. What we want to do is share one of the products that we use or have used for 4 years and how to take care of it. So on this video today, we're going to talk and show you how we clean our Berkey. And just to let you know, we're going to use the process as specified by Berkey and the steps that we're going to use. So you should feel comfortable with it. And if you want to see their instructions, there's a PDF on their site, and we'll link it below so you have easy access to it. So first of all, we're going to show cleaning a filter when you have clean water. If you're in an environment where you don't have clean water, what you should do in that case is take the excess of water of the Berkey, build up some clean water that you'll be able to clean with. And that's mostly important for the clean water reservoir. And then if you have the fluoride filters is also for that. If you're in an area that you've been putting water that could be high in contamination with bacteria or even viruses, then what Berkey recommends you do is get some water, and then for each gallon of water you have, put 16 drops of bleach in it. So what you can do with that bleach water is use that to clean the source receptacle on the top, and also for you to clean off the black Berkey filters. You won't need that in the reservoir on the bottom, because that's where clean water is, and that's also if you have the fluoride filters where those will be. So we're not going to cover that here, but I just wanted to let you know that there are some processes you have when you either have not good water to be able to clean the Berkey filter, or if you also have high contamination. So what do you need to be able to clean your Berkey? Well, outside of clean water, all you need really is 2 items. One is some type of dish soap that you use, and the other is they recommend Scotch-Brite sponges that you'll use to clean off the black filters, so you can give them a scrub. Now for this video, we're going to use a different version of the Scotch-Brite, which is their Greener Clean sponge. And the reason for this is that this uses natural products to get the same results as the Scotch-Brite normals. So all you really need is these 2 items. And then one other thing you're going to want to do is have some type of towel or something around that you can then lay the parts out as you're cleaning them. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go start the cleaning process. So what we're going to do first is prep the area. And what I like to use is a couple of towels. How the towels are used is as we take the components apart, we can lay them on the towels, because you want to make sure that they don't roll off and fall and hit the floor, because that way you could damage your Berkey or the filters in the Berkey. The next step is we need to take the top reservoir, drain whatever water is in it, and then disassemble it. So as you can see, there's the black filters in the top section, and we have the fluoride filters in the bottom. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take the fluoride filters off first. And what you do in that case is you just screw them off. And now what we can do is we can now take the black filters off. And how they're attached is they're attached with these nuts right here. So you can just unscrew these and the black filters will come out. As I stated before, is if you had the filters that were in a very dirty situation, you might want to wear latex gloves and then take the filters out, put them in the solution I mentioned before to clean them off, and then also then clean out this the source vessel at the top. Since we've been here for the last couple of months at Nano RV Park, we've got good water, and that's not a concern. The other thing you need to make sure is that this part of the black filter that goes down, you don't want to contaminate that with any of the source water. So as we're washing it and so forth, we're going to want to make sure that we keep this from getting any water in it in a backflow situation. So like I said, the filters come out pretty easily. Since this is a Big Berkey, what you have is you have plugs, because the Big Berkey can support up to 4 filters. So as you can see right here, these white pieces are plugs. So if we wanted to have greater water flow than about 3.5 gallons an hour, we could put the extra filters in. For us, the 2 filters is more than fine. Now, if anytime you're doing maintenance, you find out that these filters, the filters or any of these parts get damaged, you can buy replacement parts from Berkey pretty easily. So now that we've got this disassembled, I'm going to set this over here in the sink. So now we're going to take apart the lower reservoir. Now, one of the things that I prefer doing when possible is to actually take the fresh water you have here and put it in a container, maybe throw it into the refrigerator. One of the things you have to keep aware of, though, is since the Berkey filters filter out chlorine, and the fluoride arsenic filters filter out fluoride, the water only has a shelf life of about 2 or 3 days, because it doesn't have those extra chemicals to retard any growth in the water. So just be aware of it, is that it is really clean water, and you need to make sure that you use the water in a reasonable time frame. So we're empty out the remaining water, and then what you'll see on the bottom here is a rubber piece that helps support it. And on top of that, what we have is we also have an upgrade for the stainless steel spigot. The Berkey comes with a plastic one, and we decided to upgrade to it because we use this a lot. And this spigot has been very good and has worked really well for the last 4 years. So it has a nut on the inside that you just basically screw off. So what you'll find is there's this nut on the back, metal plate that goes behind the rubber gasket. And then on the front, you also have a rubber gasket that also fits on this front piece with another metal piece. And so what we'll do is we'll just take those pieces apart so that we can wash them. So for many people, they choose to clean the Berkey when it starts running slow. So kind of the Berkey itself dictates how often it is. The recommendation is to clean it once a month, because you can get buildup in the top vessel, whereas the bottom one generally doesn't. But it just becomes good practice. That way you can keep the greatest water flow through it. So the recommendation is to clean them once a month. Since we need to use a fresh sponge for cleaning the Berkey, what we're going to do is we're going to clean the clean areas of the Berkey first, and then follow up with the areas that are on the top. And so what that means is we're going to clean the lower reservoir, we're going to clean the spigot, and then we're also going to clean the fluoride arsenic filters. At that point, what we're going to do is move into cleaning the black Berkey filter, and finally the upper vessel. And then that way we'll have the cleanest opportunity with it. So that's what we're going to do. So what we're going to do, first of all, is take the upper vessel, put some soap into it, so that we can give it a good cleaning. And what I'll do is I'll move this out of the way for right now. So as I said, we've got clean city water here, so we're pretty comfortable with cleaning just with the water we have. So we're going to use the clean sponge with the lower vessel. And what your intent to do is just to give it a good wipe. It shouldn't need a lot, but this way, if there's anything that's built up in the last month, then it can easily come out. Also give it a wash on the outside. And you want to make sure that you get it clean. You don't want to have any residual soap in it. So I'm going to go ahead and set that right there so it can dry clean. So the next step that we have to do is just clean the outside of the fluoride filters. So again, you want to make sure you don't get you want to keep the up the top end from getting the water in. For the fluoride filters, it doesn't really matter as much, but if you were in an unclean environment, you definitely wouldn't want to do it, because remember, these filters operate after it's gone through the black filter. So just as a reminder, each of these fluoride and arsenic filters have a 500 per gallon per filter useful life. And so one of the things that many people don't understand is that even if they clean their Berkey every month, one of the things that can happen is that these will get to their end of life, they'll start slowing up, and then they'll just slow the whole Berkey up. So just to remember, these have to be replaced every 500 gallons for each filter, so combined for 1,000 gallons, whereas the black Berkey filters are replaced at a rate of about 1,500 gallons each, for a total of 3,000 per pair. We're also going to wash now the spigot and the components with it. One of the things you could consider is, if you wanted to have more room, you could set up a table outside your RV, or if it's in your home, you generally would have more counter space than we have in the RV. But you could set that up, and you could use fresh water to do the cleaning outside or away from the tank, from the sink. For us, this works okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start cleaning the black Berkey filters. And what you're going to want to do is, you don't want to put any soap on it or any cleaner on it. What you're going to do is you're going to take the filter and you're going to scrub for several minutes on the outside of the filter. And what that does is it frees up the pores to restore water flow, and also to be able to rinse off the contaminants. Take special care not to get any water into the top of this, so just be careful with it. So one of the things you can do to extend the life of the filters is, when you put water into the source vessel at the top, is to fill it up all the way. And the reason for that is it would allow the whole filter to be used when cleaning out the contaminants. Naturally, as the water filters through, you'll end up getting more of the bottom of the filter doing the work. But if you choose to only put in like half the container at a time, or a quarter of container, what you'll do is disproportionately cause the lower part of the filter to do the cleaning. The other thing about that is, if you fill it higher, then you'll have more filter to filter with, so you'll actually get a higher flow rate by filling up the upper vessel, if that works out for you. So one of the things that you'll notice is, as we're cleaning the black filters, you start seeing that the sponge starts taking a slight hue of the outside of the black filter. And that's just part of the process and not to be concerned about, but I just wanted to point it out. So now we're going to clean the nuts that tie it together and also the spacer pieces. So now we've got that done. We're now going to go to the top vessel container. We have that done. We're going to do the top container. So I'm going to put a little bit of soap in it. I'm going to spend a little extra time on this because this is where the less clean of the water is. You know, it's pre-filtered. So we'll just make sure that this is all cleaned up and ready to start drying. One of the things that work out really nice is by cleaning it on a monthly basis, it cuts down on how much you have to clean each month since you're keeping it a lot cleaner. You want to make sure this bottom piece is clean and not set back down on the on a non-clean surface, because this is the part that goes back on top of the reservoir, the freshwater reservoir. So the last piece we need to wash is the ring at the bottom. So we're going to quickly wash that. So now that we have it all washed, what we're going to do is take a quick break, let it air dry, and then reassemble it. Now that we've let everything dry, we can start assembling it. But first, if you're finding value out of this video, please click the like below. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to put together the Berkey in the reverse order that we took it apart. So the first thing we're going to do is take the bottom container, put the rubber seal on the bottom, the next thing we're going to do is put together the stainless steel spigot. So what you need to do is you need to take one of the metal pieces, like this, stick it on the outside, take one of the rubber gaskets, go ahead and push it down, and then go ahead and put the spigot inside of the lower container. Take the other washer, put it on in, take the metal piece, put it on, and then take the nut and screw it on. Now the bottom piece is ready for us to start working on the top piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this off to the side for right now, and then start working on the top section. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the spacers to first. And so if you remember, the spacers basically are set up to block out 2 of the 4 holes. So what you want to do is you want to put them across from each other and then hand tighten them. And make sure they tighten on secure. And they have a rubber gasket on it so that they won't allow a leak to occur. So once we have the spacers put on, next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in the black Berkey filters. So just like the spacers, has the same type of nut, and then all you're going to do is tighten it on. Then we put the last filter in. So the nice thing is this is basically the same process you have when you assemble it for the first time. Now the next step is to hook on the fluoride filters. Now one of the things you're going to want to make sure you do is you want to make sure you don't screw this on more than 8 revolutions, because if you do that, you may overextend the this piece of the black filter, and it could damage the screen that's on the inside here. So there's a screen that's on the inside you need to make sure you don't damage. And 8. And then we'll do the next one also. And now the upper chamber is finished. The filters are aligned. Put it on the bottom piece. We have the top that you've cleaned. And now it's all done. So it takes a lot shorter period of time to reassemble it than it does to take it apart and go through the cleaning. So the whole time period it took for us to go through the whole cleaning process originally, including the explanation, was about 20 minutes or so, 20-25 minutes. And then for us to waited about 20 or 30 minutes. And then finally, it took about 5 minutes to put it back together. So it doesn't take a long time to do it. And by doing the monthly maintenance, you reduce the amount of effort you have to put in each month. You're able to make sure that the filters stay in best working order and that their flow is at the highest levels. And as you notice, all the cost really is about a fresh sponge every time you do it. We've created 2 videos on replacing the filters. So if you click right here, you'll see our video on replacing the PF2 fluoride and arsenic filter. And if you click right here, you'll be able to see our video on replacing the Black Berkey filters. And the best time to do that is when you do one of your cleanings. Since you already have to tear it apart, then being able to replace either of the filters or both in the sake of if it happens to be at about the 3,000 gallon mark, then you will be able to easily do it. And the biggest thing you'll find in the maintenance videos is basically priming the filters. So I hope this has been informative. Our question to you is, how often do you clean your Berkey water system? And if you have any questions about what's in this video, please go ahead and put them in the comments below. And if you'd like this video, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. Thank you.